Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
What happens when you bring together two seasoned broadcasters without a script and without a topic? You have this week's episode of Dr. Jacalyn Unscripted TV show. Joining me is my colleague, my dear friend, and my mentor, Mr. Al Cini, the co-founder of Profit for Teams. Welcome to Unscripted.
Unscripted and unseasoned. Thank you very much, Dr. Jacalyn. It's a pleasure to be here.
Light on the seasoning, okay?
Yeah, a little easy on it.
You know, I'm really excited that we're doing this episode because we met many years ago in an in-person TV station where we actually did a show called Morning Coffee. We were sitting across a table from one another, and look how far we've come.
Well, yeah. I mean, you haven't changed a bit. I've gotten a little older. I think I was telling you I was creating my settings for StreamYard. There's a control that says adjust for skin tone. And I cranked that all the way up, and StreamYard just said, that's the best we could do. So yeah, I mean, you look every bit as young as you did then, and it's always great working with you.
Well, thank you. I've learned so much from you.
I want to talk about you, but go on.
Okay, you know, I don't like to talk about myself, but I've learned so much from you over the years. And I just want to say to your comment, for all those people out there who hate AI, do you think I really look like this? Thank you for AI for enhancing my skin. I really appreciate it.
You look terrific. But I do want to talk about you because I know you have a keynote coming up this weekend in Colorado. And I think that invitation is well-deserved, and it's a great honor. And maybe you can tell us all a little bit about that.
Yes, I have been invited by a dear woman who is in London. I actually spoke at a conference there last summer for the Universal Peace Federation. And I'm going to be talking in Denver this weekend for the INLS, the International Nepali Literary Society. So it's going to be a lot of writers and scholars. And I'm going to be talking about the power of elevated listening. And I'm really excited because this particular version of this keynote has a lot of information that I've been learning from the Wharton School of Business from the Chief Strategy Officer program. So listening is pervasive across everything that we do. And what I think is interesting, and you know this because you've taken one of my courses, everybody thinks they're a great listener. And yet let's look at what's going on in the world. Hello, we're not really listening that well.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I knew you weren't listening.
Yeah. Well, and there's music. From what I understand, you have a theme song.
I know I have a theme song. I was thinking to myself, this is the first time I'm actually going to play it here in the States. And just a quick background, I always wanted to be a lounge singer. And my dear friend, Dr. Madeline Chan, who is also in London in the UK, she's a vocal coach and she's been on the charts over there with a number of her recordings. And she and I went in London last, I think it was November, and we recorded my first and probably only single called Please Listen to What I Say. So when I come out on the stage on Saturday in Denver, this is going to be playing. So I'll play a little bit of it. There's a short pause in the beginning. I don't know why, so I'm going to talk over it until there it's playing.
There you go.
They get their opinions. I've got mine too.
That's me.
So
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
darling, please listen to what I say.
There's the big chorus.
Listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now. Listen, babe, now.
All right, I think that's enough. It's available on Apple. It's available on iTunes, on Spotify, anywhere fine music is sold.
And your background is Madeline Chan, is that right?
She's in the background, yes. And in the second chorus, you can really hear her beautiful voice. So that was a dream come true and a lot of fun. And so that's what's going to be playing when I walk out on stage.
That is, I think that's just great. And your topic, you said your topic in your keynote is drawn from the lessons you've learned as a student at Wharton.
Well, I'm combining that with mastering the power of elevated listening. So the audience is going to be mostly writers and scholars. And I'm also on a panel discussion with our dear friend, Mr. Red O'Loughlin.
I know Red very well. He's a great guy. That'll be great. Will it be streamable anywhere, or could people get a recording of it later?
I don't know. I don't know if they're streaming it or not. I'll have to ask the people in AV when I get there, but that would be nice. I'd love to have some footage of it as well. It's a 40-minute keynote, and I'm actually going to have some role plays asking the audience for participation. So that should be fun. Don't tell anyone, though.
Great. I won't say a thing. I won't say a thing. Mum's the word. And I also wanted to talk about your not-for-profit because I know you're still waiting for your 501c3 approval, but it's Voices of Humanity. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that, because I have a project in mind for it that I want to talk about.
You do?
I do, but tell us about the not-for-profit, and then we'll talk about something we might put on it.
I love the fact that you've slipped into interviewer mode and you're interviewing me. That's terrific. It's USA.
That's kind of fun.
USA,
We're going to turn this around in a bit.
USA Global Voices of Humanity.
Mm-hmm. And your 501c3 isn't ready yet, but you're expecting that soon.
Yes, it's in the works. And so we've already had our first board meeting, as you know, because you're on the board.
I'm the secretary, and I still have to write the minutes up for it.
You are the secretary.
Yeah.
And the whole point of doing this is because there are so many projects that never get funded, where different parts of the world, people don't actually get a voice to share what it is that is going on in their world. And so we thought collectively this would be a great way to bring awareness. And so I'm going to be in charge of raising the donations. And so once we have the 501c3, then we can start looking at that. But we actually have a for-profit project that I can't really talk about. We'll be airing it in June, that I think could also nicely fit into the not-for-profit. So we're doing some work with people in Africa and bring awareness to what's going on there. And you might know that I'm a peace ambassador. So there's a lot of room for more peace ambassadors and for us to talk about collaboratively, how can we find more peace inside, and how can we help establish more peace across the world?
It's a subject that the world has never needed more. And I think it's great that you've gotten that kind of traction. That's terrific. And the project that I had in mind for it is a project that I worked on years ago called Disrupt Ed TV, all on another network with different collaborators. And what became obvious to us toward the end of that run was that there are an awful lot of people out there that are keenly interested in covering an underserved market, which is basically breakthrough technology in the world of education, breakthrough technology, breakthrough solutions, breakthrough approaches, new trends in education. And I think when you get your 501c3 up and running, it'll be fun to invite an old friend of mine named Rich Allen, who you've met because he helped find us some guests a couple of weeks ago for A Head for Business. Great guy, lifelong educator. Even though he's not strictly in the education business anymore, he's doing other things. he still has a passion for it, and his heart is still there. And he knows a lot of people, and an awful lot of people want their technical solutions and educational approaches and streaming solutions talked about, so that they can be adopted by schools all over the world to create more impactful educational experiences for people of all ages, not just children. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be a great thing to put in your Voices for Peace.
I agree.
Voices for
And
Humanity.
Rich has actually been on several of our TV shows here as well at USA Global TV and Radio.
He's a great guy and a good friend, and we'll get to be working with him. I'm looking forward to that.
There's always ways to add value and help other people. And so I'm grateful that we are doing this together, and also that Rich is interested in joining our mission.
He's keyed up about it, really. I mean, I had a couple of exclamation points in a text message from him. I cleared it with him this morning, told him we're going to talk about this. He said, great, with a lot of exclamation points. So I think he's pretty excited about it.
Hi, Rich. Thanks for your exclamation points, and thanks for being involved. We really do appreciate it. So I think that everything that we're talking about today is really about the same topic, which is helping other people. And people want to feel heard. They want to be seen. And you do a lot of work with teams. And I'd love for you to talk about that in your ProFit for Teams, because we have no script. We can talk about anything we want. So tell us.
We pretty much can. That's what I was told. Okay. I'm happy to do that. ProFit for Teams is I probably will explain a little bit about my background. My background is unconventional project management. I have worked on many pretty big, somewhat demanding projects over the course of my career. And one of the things I've learned about that is a point that I made earlier before we actually started the program today, that everybody has free will, and that's the challenge, is that everybody else has it too, not just you. So the challenge then becomes, how do you take the individual gift of free will of all the people on your team and engage it in the work that your team needs to do without having to direct it? For me, the sweet spot has always been young people, junior people, senior people, suddenly discovering what it is that the team is all about, and then bringing their best efforts to the team to make sure that the team over delivers on what it is that's expected of them. So, because I am a quant, and my end of ProFit for Teams really is the development of the mathematics behind it. There's a model in the middle of it, and a survey instrument that we use to discover the heart and soul. We call it a discovery audit, to discover the heart and soul of a team. And once we've got that, we can create a role model that represents the team when it's doing its best work on its best day. And we mentioned education. And a key component in education, psychologists know very well, is emulating role models. And what we do in ProFit for Teams is discover the role model that represents a team when it's doing its best work collectively to keep all of its promises and achieve all of its goals. Once we can articulate that role model for everybody on the team, they including leaders, by the way, this is an all-inclusive, all hands on deck. It doesn't matter whether you're a leader of the team or a contributor, an individual contributor, or even a consultant. Whatever your role might be on the team, if you understand the role model that represents that team when it's doing its best work on its best day, then you're better equipped to deliver on the promise that team makes to make the world a better place. So when we talk about serving the world, serving other people, that service, in my experience, in our experience, can be embodied in the form of this role model. And then that role model becomes a kind of a teaching magnet, a teachable moment, let's say, for the people on the team to learn how to contribute their best selves to the work that the team does. When that happens, the leaders of the team stop nagging and complaining and blaming and shaming, and they start supporting and serving not just the people on the team, but the mission of the team that the people serve. That is a magic moment for me. I've had that experience over and over again. ProFit for Teams is about taking all that, putting it in a can, and making it something other people can engage and use. So thank you for asking. And that's ProFit for Teams and what it intends to do in a nutshell.
And we've got your information on the screen here. And you've, of course, got that beautiful New York 212 area code for
I
people
know.
to reach out.
It cost me a lot of money over a long time. I mean, New York was my home for more than 25 years, and still is. I still feel like I'm still very much a New Yorker, as you know, because I have a little bit of an edge left from that. You never lose that.
No, you with an edge? Come
A little
on.
bit of an edge. There is a
You're
little bit
so
of an edge.
easy to get along with.
Pretty much, but that's practice. That takes practice. But
I love
yeah,
it.
thank
No,
you for
it's been
asking.
fun watching Profit for Teams evolve and the excitement that you and Lisa Magnoki have about this wonderful opportunity. And I saw that you did have at least one review there. Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe the project that you've worked on already?
Yeah, well, that one we did some work for an organization called the Kessler Foundation, which is the review that you showed. I mean, the product has evolved and the name has changed over the years. But what we get when we deliver the service for people are a lot of gratitude from people who believe that now the people on their team have found their voice. And that to me anyway, from a let's just get it done point of view, remember, I'm a project manager and getting things done is what project managers worry about. In terms of getting things done, that happens when everybody knows what getting things done feels like, not just what it is that they need to do, but how it'll feel and how it'll present to others when it's done. When you convince people that that is a noble mission and you show them the basic contributions that are needed to achieve that, then everybody on the team becomes engaged in it. And it solves one of the biggest problems project managers have, which is that in a team of, let's say, 10 or 20 people, 5 or 6 of the people do 90% of the work. Now, you get a whole lot more done when all 10 or 20 people on the team are engaged in it and not just 5 or 6. And rallying everybody to make them feel like today is going to be a great day when they wake up. And these are the things that I'm going to do when I get to work. And these are the contributions I'm going to make. And then afterward, recognizing those contributions is key to getting projects done. And that means getting them done and getting them done on time and getting them done within a budget. I mean, there's some practical concerns that have to be served here, but there is joy in work. And when people find joy in the work they do, they tackle it with, let's just say, a great deal of enthusiasm. And that's always rewarding to witness. That's fun. And you mentioned Lisa. I do want to talk about Lisa Magnoki. It's a partnership that, it's a partnership that goes back several years in the development of Profit for Teams and its delivery. My end of it really is the IT end of it. And the part that I'm working on now is what I'm gratified to say, the part we're going to need. The part that we're really going to need is the part that makes it possible for us to work with 20 or 30 teams at a time and provide them with a service on a scaled up basis that teaches all 20 or 30 of those teams what they need to know to articulate the role model that represents their best selves. Now, my end of it is to make sure that if 20 or 30 teams are online working the Profit for Teams model concurrently, that they're all being processed properly and that everything works behind the scenes seamlessly and correctly. Lisa's part of it is to make sure that the information that we gather connects with and inspires the hearts of the people who use the service. And so, between us, I think what we built is something that's very impactful from a human point of view, not just from a computing point of view. And we're getting really close to being able to deliver it on what I believe will be the scale necessary, because an awful lot of people are asking me about it now. And I'm happy to report that pretty soon we'll have something for them to log into and use.
And that day is coming very soon. It's going to be very exciting. As I mentioned, I've watched this whole thing.
It better be. It's all on me. It better be. Yeah, it'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, one of the things that you were mentioning about teams, it brought something up for me. When I was in corporate, I was on many teams across the decades. And as a business owner, I lead teams. And one of the things that I find that has never changed, regardless of who is on the team or the purpose of the team, is there are some people that are really engaged. And of course, there are some people who have no interest, and how to motivate everyone to accomplish something. And what I have found is there are typically people who do more of the work than other people. And it reminds me, and I love your input on this, it reminds me of the old bell curve where you've got, 10 or 20% of the people doing all the work. And so what do you do? What do you recommend to tap into each person so that they want to make a contribution? And maybe everybody's not meant to be on a team. Maybe some people are meant to just be doing something on their own.
That's a really good point. Actually, there are two things I'd have to offer in response. One is the whole idea of running a race, and what does running a race mean? And sometimes participation on a team feels like that. When you've got, let's say, 15 or 20 people on a team, and 3 or 4 of them are running way ahead of the pack, it's demotivating for the people who are running behind, because they're looking at those people who are running ahead and feeling like at no point ever will they be able to overtake them. Therefore, maybe I should just stop running. I'll just give up. I'm going to lose anyway, so why throw my hat into it? The point of Profit for Teams is to make sure that every morning everybody's back at the starting gate, that nobody's ahead based on what they did yesterday, that every day is a new day, and every day we open those gates and everybody runs at an equal level. And the hero that day could be anybody on the team, not just the 3 or 4 or 5 people that ran ahead of everybody yesterday. That is, for us anyway, such an important part of Profit for Teams. And remember, it's not a team communication platform. Microsoft Teams is that, Slack is that, Asana is that. There are plenty of communications platforms out there for people on teams who want to communicate with each other. We're a psychological platform. We're a human platform. And it's about cultivating the psychology that inspires people to keep running that race, to keep wanting to move forward, and to not really think about the other people that they might perceive as running ahead of them, to know that there's always an opportunity to be a hero out there, and that hero is embodied by the role model that represents the team, which is what we help to discover and articulate. And when I say discover, I want to make the point, we don't give you a role model to follow. That role model is already inside of your people. With the discovery audit that we offer, we learn that role model, the characteristics of that role model, from everybody on the team. And so everybody on the team writes the plan that makes the team successful. We don't care whether you started yesterday or you've been around for 25 years. We don't care whether you're the leader, the boss, or an individual contributor. That doesn't make any difference to us. Everybody has an equal say in answering our core question, which is, who are we when we're doing our best work on our best day? Once you've got that answer, the horizon's wide open and the sky's the limit. And that's exciting for me. And it's fun to watch people respond and react and grow with that. And the second point I wanted to make, give me a second to recover my train of thought there. The second point that I wanted to make is that the success of the team has as much to do with whether people feel like they fit and belong to that team as it does to the team and the work that it does. So yeah, the results are important. There's no question about that. But what we found is that the results are subordinate, and it's like money. People always say, boy, what I need is more money. But where money comes from isn't the desire for money. It's the desire to make a difference. And the market's response to that desire and the way you deliver on your promises. That's where money comes from. Value flows from contributions to society. And I'm really, and that's one of the things I really have to thank Lisa for. The heart and soul of the work that we do really is that embodiment of the value that we bring. And that's where the interest comes from. That's where the activity comes from. So thanks for that. I'm pretty passionate about it. I think you can tell, and it's great to pitch in on that subject. And I really appreciate the opportunity to do it.
Your passion is flowing for that. Absolutely. Pro fit for teams.
Caught me
And
on a good day.
I think it's really helpful because we are part of a team, even in a family, or might be in a religious setting. And typically there are people who do not feel engaged. And no matter what you try to do, there's typically something under the surface, and they might feel insecure. They might feel like no one believes they have anything to offer. And so being able to tap into each person and have them feel like they are part of something, I think that's really important. It's vital.
It's vital, and it makes all the difference. I mean, in every effort ever in history, where people who study history say this was a success and this was a failure, the successes all flow from exactly that. Whether it's in peace or in war, whether it's, no matter what the effort is more successful when everybody feels like they're making a contribution, and those contributions are recognized and respected. And when all those efforts are aligned around a role model, they become multiply more effective.
What would you say a role model is today for you? Who would be a role model?
Oh, geez. I almost hate to, somewhere between Albert Einstein and Pee Wee Herman.
Wow, that's a long
I'd say
range.
there's a mix. I figure I defined a pretty broad spectrum there. Some of the people who've worked with me will report that can be exasperating. And I do have to tell you that the best compliment I've ever had in the years that I've been working, helping to manage and lead projects, the best compliments I've ever had were the compliments that were people who said, you know what, Al, we're not exactly sure what it is you do around here, but we want you to keep doing it. Because whatever it is you're doing, it's making everybody else do things. And I've never, ever in my history, ever taken credit for getting any of the work done, because all the work really was done by the people who actually made the contributions. My job was just to make sure that they were honored and respected, and that they understood what making a contribution would feel like. And that feel like is more important than, the whole idea of a mission statement, which has always frustrated me, is that you write a complicated paragraph of a million different things. You write all that down and you put it on a sheet of paper. Maybe you frame it and hang it in the conference room. This is our mission statement. But what really makes people bond with a mission isn't the statement to their brains, what is it we're expected to do? What makes them bond is the feeling that they get from making a contribution to it, and knowing that their contribution is unique to them, not doing what somebody else would do, but their unique contribution, and knowing that their contribution is respected and that it adds up to a result. So, yeah, that whole idea of belonging, nobody's ever really paid very much attention to it. I'm proud to say that we're paying a lot of attention to it, and we're getting some great results with it. So thank you.
I want to tap into what you were just talking about. I've also found that people on teams who speak the most frequently, the most verbose, the loudest, many times they have insecurities too. And so their insecurity is driving them to look at me, look at me. So everybody might have a similar feeling. At the foundation, the core is that I don't want to be invisible. I want someone to see me.
And you've got to allow for that. That the whole idea that we're all the same somehow, and that we all become the same when we're aligned with each other, is kind of a myth. There are some people who are more extroverted than others. There are some people who are more argumentative or confrontational than others. Mediocrity happens when we try to make everybody the same. Now, for a lot of people, mediocrity is enough. A mediocre performance means that I can't be blamed for anything. It means that I can't be accused of anything. It limits your ability to judge me when I perform at a mediocre level. Judge me harshly, let's say. I know judgment is a big issue for you, and I want to talk a little bit about that maybe when we come back after this. But that whole idea that we're all supposed to be the same and that we're all supposed to agree with each other is wrong. We're on successful teams, there are differences of opinion. On successful teams, there are arguments. On successful teams, there are people with different basic personalities who still, when the chips are down, will work together. And I'll tell you what the secret is In order for a team, in order for somebody, I believe, to be able to work effectively on a team, they have to have good answers in their heads for three questions. The first question is, who am I? Do I know what I can do? Do I know what I can offer? Do I feel like I fit here? And by the way, this gets back to an earlier point you made that I'll tie back to in a second. Who am I and what can I do to help here? And you can get help with answers to that from things like personality assessments or skills inventories. And there are a lot of instruments out there that'll help you understand a little better who you are. But the next question is, who are you? I mean, okay, now I think I understand where I might be able to make a difference here, but who are you? Are you somebody I can trust? Are you somebody I can work with? Are you somebody that I can count on? And that who are you question is important. I need to know that I have the respect and trust and I don't want to say loyalty, but let's say just the respect and trust of the people that I work with, that we feel. And all of that comes from the question that nobody ever asks. That last question, which is the question that we ask, who are we? Now that I know who I am, and now that I know who you and the other members of my team are relative to me, the final question, the most important question is, who are we? When we're working in this team to do what this team needs to do, who are we collectively? When we have a good answer to that question in our heads, when we really understand that the answer, not a perfect answer, but a comfortable answer to that question, when we know that, then we can all work together, not by looking at each other or ourselves, but by looking ahead at what it is we're trying to accomplish together. That translates to a tremendous amount of success and a great deal of progress. And that's what we built this on. We built ProFit for Teams on answering that question, who are we?
To your point about who am I, who are you, who are we, many times when we're asked who we are, we start giving our roles. I do this, I do that,
Yeah.
I'm responsible for this. So in order to find out who we, under the surface, who we really are, how do we start figuring that part out?
That's a great question. We start with a question. That's what you're really doing is putting your finger on something we call the discovery audit. The very first thing we do with any newly engaged team is to give everybody an exercise. Think of your whole team, not you, not each other. Think of your whole team as though it were a person that I could meet at a party. Who is, if our whole team were somebody that could go to a party or appear in a gathering and present themselves, how would they present? What would that person be like? Now, we don't ask in terms of what that person does or what that person went to school for. We ask in terms of, are they vocal, quiet, outgoing, creative, goal-focused? We essentially ask everybody to profile their team as a collective personality. And what we learn from that, and the first metric we get back from that is how different is everybody's answer from everybody else's. If everybody comes back as they usually do from the discovery audit with a different answer to that question, and it's not an easy question to ask. I mean, it's a hard one to wrap your head around. I'm not talking about me anymore. I know me pretty well, but now I'm talking about this abstract thing called my team, which can be a little bit daunting. I mean, because we don't normally think that way. Well, if everybody's answers to the question, who are we, are different across the team, then that team isn't a team. In order for that team to be a team, everybody has to visualize the same person when they ask themselves that question, who are we? And in the validation work we've done for this, when you ask somebody at Google or Apple, who are we, you get basically the same answer from everybody. Everybody sees the same person. They all imagine or envision the same character in their heads. And this is true whether they have just joined the company, because one of the reasons why they joined the company is because they were attracted by this, or whether they've been at the company for years or even decades. The more aligned everybody's answers are to that question, the better equipped psychologically the members of that team are to deliver on that team's promise. The further apart those answers are, the less clear their vision for their team is. And that becomes the reason to work together to try to narrow those differences of opinion. So when you align everybody's answers to the discovery audit, get them up to a certain level. We know what that level is now. It's from let's say 0 to 100. When you get up to about the 70% level, when you get up to about the 50% level, where half of us agree, you've got a potentially successful company or team. When you get up to the 70% level, you're home run hitters. And anything above that is the sweet spot. We don't get too many responses back from that, but then what we do, the whole point of Profit for Teams is to move that needle up. We call that a fit index, the index that represents everybody's feeling that they fit within the team that they're a member of. And the higher that number goes, the more successful the team tends to be. Well,
we've got that answer figured out. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of math involved in that, but we hide all that. It's a fun ride, and I believe over time we're creating a category here. This is a new way of looking at people from a my background, educational background of social psychology. I don't know if you knew that, but
I don't think I did.
Yeah, social psych
at
Vanderbilt. Well, there you go. And that, to me anyway, that's the fundamental scientific underpinning beneath all this. So yeah, it'll be, once I get the code up and running, it'll be fun to see how this plays out. I'm excited about it.
Well, we better let you go work on that code. Before we close out, I just want to ask you, how did we end up wearing the same colors? That's amazing. It seems like every time we work together, we are.
I do say, I mean, for people who are listening, you can't tell that we're wearing the same color. This is very weird. There must be some kind of vibrational frequency.
I think
maybe we answer the question, who are we, in the same way. But I can tell you this, purple is your color. It is not mine. In fact, I don't think I have a color. I think I just look like this, and that's all there is to it, no matter what color the background is. But you, yeah, purple suits you.
But we're not wearing purple today. We're both wearing
your background.
Beige. Yeah.
The background.
Oh, yeah, no. Most of the backgrounds I use for my own shows I do myself are purple. I think it's a good color. It's actually the branding for USA Global TV and Radio, and it's also the branding for drjacalyn.com. So
it's a good one. Before we wrap, I know we only have a few more minutes. I want you to talk about, how do you feel about where you are headed with USA Global TV and Radio, and now with your new not-for-profit?
I'm very excited. I live and breathe this every day. This is what I do. And to see the evolution, we always have Facebook bringing up photographs from years ago. And remember when we were on Business Talk Radio, we were doing that together.
I do remember that.
Yes.
Oh, gee.
And A Better You, remember that?
The educational program. That was a lot of fun too. And education is really a passion for you. Why don't you talk a little? You love to teach, and you're really very good at it. Why don't you maybe give us a minute or two on that?
I surely would love to. I've created 10 different courses now, and some of them are business courses. I just taught one last week, and some of them are listening courses. But I always wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a lounge singer, and I wanted to be a teacher. So I'm not really sure where the crossover was. And I did get to record that single, and I do get to teach. So that's exciting. But I feel like by tapping into not just my own education, my own experience, but what I've learned collectively from our team and from people who've been guests, I like to put a lot of that together and then share that with people. And people are typically receptive to learning. I mean, I find most people are curious, and we all have things that we know really well. And there's all things that some of us, we don't know. None of us know everything. So I love being a teacher. And at some point I thought I wanted to be a university professor, but given the fact that I am running a television network and doing these other things, I think having my own business, it would be hard to go and work for someone else. So I teach what it is that I know. And especially for people who are interested possibly in having a television show. I mean, you've had a television show with me many times over the years. I'm interested in meeting people, and we train people. And I also have my other business, which is Dr. Jacalyn, and I do private advisory. I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and I've written, I think, 28 different books. I have all my books over here around me. So it's a gift that I'm really grateful that I have.
And I before we close out, I know we've got to do that looks like pretty soon. You've got a busy day ahead of you. I know that. And I've got code I have to write. But anyway, for the people out there who might be considering hosting a program on USA Global TV and radio, one of the things that might be holding you back is the fear of being judged by people when you put yourself out there. And I know judgment and managing your reactions to judgment, managing your urge to judge others is a big part of your value proposition. So maybe real quick, you can mention that.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. I want to spotlight myself, which I rarely do. But this
Good.
book, Holy But Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, How Hidden Judgments Destroy Relationships and Damage Lives. I wrote this book because I became highly aware of the fact that I was being judged and that I judge other people. And I put together 100 statements in here that we use all the time as a society. And I think it's interesting to just look at the statements if I can find. Okay, here's some of them. He's overweight. Obviously, he has no self-control. Blondes have more fun, but dumb blondes finish last. I mean, these are statements that we've heard for years. She probably has a low IQ, and that's why she's an idiot. He's losing his hair. He looks so old now. So I have maybe 10 different areas where I list sentences, statements that we typically hear on a regular basis, whether or not we've used them. And I also came up with a workbook. So what I want to share out for people who are interested in having their own TV show is that we offer training. And we love people who have no experience because there aren't a lot of habits that we have to undo because we do practice elevated listening here. As you know, as an elevated listener, there is training that we provide. And so it's about having the confidence of knowing that you actually have something to share, that your voice has meaning. And I'm always interested to meet with new people, especially people outside of the United States who speak various languages, because right now we have shows in 3 languages, English, German, and French. And in the US, we're interested in people as well. And all you have to do is watch the commercial that will run before we end the show.
Well, my last words to everybody out there who might be watching and listening is that it's a tremendous experience hosting programs and participating in programs on USA Global TV and radio. I hope you'll consider signing up to be a guest on Ahead for Business, which is a program that Dr. Jacalyn and I offer every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and where we focus on the psychology of business success and failure sometimes. We want you as a guest. Dr. Jacalyn would love to entertain the possibility of you hosting a program. If you've got something you want to say to the world, say it and put it out there in a way where everybody in the world has access to it and can listen to it. And that's what, to me anyway, USA Global TV and radio represents.
Thank you, Al. I couldn't have said it better myself. How can people reach out to you and who would you like to contact you?
People who run teams, manage teams, I hope they'll call me at 212-480-3730. We have 2 levels of engagement for individual teams. You've got a team, we've got a solution. Also for enterprise customers, people who might have multiple teams within their organization, maybe hundreds of people. We have an enterprise engagement model for that. A different approach, same basic technology, slightly different approach, perfect for off-site meetings. I'm pulling everybody together. I need a unifying theme for everybody. Great for that. And I hope they'll call me or email me at Al, looks like AI, Al, but it isn't, Al at pro-fit4teams.com.
Thank you. Sorry to leave you hanging there. I was typing your email address.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing the stage with you as always. And we will put up your email address now, which is al at pro-fit4teams.com. Look how fast I can type.
Perfect. You're great. You're the best.
Thank you. Have you ever taken a typing class, Al?
Never. And if you watch me type, it's embarrassing and depressing. Trust me. Hunt and peck.
How'd you get out of that in high school?
My high school was, that was Thomas Jefferson took a typing class and told me it was terrible. So I said no.
It was mandatory when I went to school.
No. Well, we did have typing courses. I went to an all-boys school, And I have to say, back in the day, I mean, this is aging me, sorry to say, but girls took typing, guys went to gym.
How about
Stupid,
that?
but that's the way it went. And that, that was back then. Now it's a little different, I'm glad to say. We don't gender those kinds of contributions anymore, thank heavens. But that's the way it used to be. So, yeah, there was typing. There was a room with typewriters in it. But other than walking by it and looking in, because that's where the girls are, didn't really have much use for it myself.
So you were an expert when it came to gym and fitness.
It's a whole other subject. Thank you that's another area of embarrassment. Thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Jack.
Well, I didn't know that. How would I know?
Well, you wouldn't. And, let's just say that I didn't get much to the gym either. I managed to get out of it all 4 years. I had other things to do.
Well, on that note, we will stay tuned for another unscripted episode with Mr. Al Cini. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye for now. We mentioned to you, if you're interested in joining our team and having a TV show, I have to say to you, if you're a business owner out there and you're not on video, you're really missing an opportunity. And to do it yourself, and we've already built this huge platform, we've already earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award, really give it a thought as to how can you take your business to the next level. So let's take a look at how you can join our team. Thanks for being here.
Hey, you. Psst. Yes, you. Watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this. Your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.